Hello, friendos. Welcome to a random Tuesday night for Sprinties. I need to do things. Because I forgot to do things. How is everybody doing tonight? What are you doing? What are you getting into? How's your life? Etc., etc., etc. Somewhere in here, I do need to find things. Okay, there we go. We have a Tennille. Hello, Tennille. Wondering why there was an underwater sound, but then I realized it might be cauldron bubbling. I mean, it could be either. I didn't make it, so I don't know. Katie Ann made the timer for me. I'm assuming that because it's a cauldron and there's like a potion bottle and you can see the bubbles on the screen, that it's the cauldron bubbling. But I could be wrong because, again, I didn't make it. Katie Ann said, send me your things and I'll make you an intro. And I said, I will love you forever if you should do. And she did. So, you know, I'm looking for the book that I'm currently reading so that I can put it in my currently reading on the screen, but I can't find it. I'm debating DNFing a book. I think it's YA and going to be too romancy and too melodramatic for me, but there's a prominent pet cat. What's the book? Maybe I've read it and I can help you out. Maybe not, but it doesn't hurt to ask. We won't know unless we ask. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Let me see. There we go. What are you working on tonight? Oh, let us know. The Other Side of the Sky. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that one. By Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. Amy Kaufman can be really good, and it can also be not really good. So, you know, it probably isn't. Yeah, melodramatic. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Good. Are you okay? Did you see her like slide across the desk? You landed clear over here. Hi, Merlin. What are you doing? That's a big jump. You okay? Did you make it? Yeah, you made it. That was a lot. Look, Tennille says, wow, Merlin. She landed on top of a sticker page that was like over here, and then it slid with her front feet. Should you DNF? Should you DNF? Hey, will you help Tennille decide if she should DNF her book or not? What do you think? She just says purr. I don't know what that means. Yeah, cat jump scare for sure. I was not expecting her to leap off of them. She was like 2 shelves up. You like leapt far. You went wee kersplat. Without the kersplat part, because that would suck. Let's see. Let's add a fotografio. Not that it's like a giant secret and you can't see it, but I will be reading Enchanter tonight. At least for the first sprint. I don't know what I'm going to do after the first sprint, but I'm going to make dinner and listen to Enchanter. We're going to Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. Also, hello. I like moved on to the next one because I thought it was also you, but it's not. Those are 2 different people. Are you enjoying Day of Fallen Night? I assume that you've already read Priory. That's the same author, right? I haven't lost my mind. Hello, Rainy. It's midnight my time, so I thought I'd drop in and say hello. Happy writing, reading productivity. Hello, hello. Hope you get some good sleepy sleepies. I feel like I haven't been on here forever, and I don't like that. And I don't like that. I don't like any of this. Why is it so big? I want it to be smaller. So you can make your name size smaller, but you can't make this thing smaller. I don't like it. Read the back of book 2 of the duology. Nope. Can they defy their love or will their spark ignite? Not for me. Listen, I once read a 6-book series where 2 people did everything they could, including killing their best friends, in order to be together. So, please note I said I read a 6-book series, which means I read the whole thing. So, I've not read Perry yet, but I'd start with the prequels and then go on to part. That's fair. I'm just happy that I had the right author, honestly. I know that it was written after the other. So, I haven't seen Raja today. I mean, I've seen her this morning when I let her in. When she stayed out last night. She's an inside-outside kitty cat. She can do as she pleases. Unlike Merlin, who is indoor only, she does occasionally venture out, but then, like in the middle of the night, she'll be outside my window screaming for someone to let her in. She goes, "Oh crap! I forgot I didn't like it out here. Let me in." So, yeah, she does that sometimes. Yeah, we do good kitty. It is nice to see Merlin. We haven't seen Merlin in a while. I see Merlin every day, but y'all haven't seen her for a while because it's usually Raja, and they don't like each other, so they don't both come up at the same time. Can handle a romance subplot in adult books. Teenage stuff seem to have an even lower tolerance than I used to. I don't typically read. I always say I don't read straight YA romance, and what I mean by straight is only. Like, not that they are straight, but the genre is romance. However, I loved the what is it? Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. I read that in January and I loved that book. It might have been February. Yeah, it was February because I read it around Valentine's Day. But I don't typically read just YA romance. I don't mind there being romance in like the fantasy that I read in YA, which I haven't been reading a lot of fantasy at all lately. But my preferred YA genre at this point in time is YA spooky, horror specifically, because it's usually like more paranormal than gory, which is where I tend to lie. But yeah, I did enjoy Dungeons and Drama. It was really good, and I bought the sequel. But I don't typically just like pick up YA romance for funsies. I'm old. I'm almost 40. It's not really my vibe, so it's fine. Anywho, we are going to do an hour sprint. I'm going to make dinner, read some of Enchantra. Hello. Welcome in, Sarah. I got you. Let us know what you're working on. We're gonna pop into a sprint. Merlin just ran away, which means I have my desk back. But yeah, I'm gonna listen to Enchantra, make food things. We're gonna do all the things. We're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this button. Ciao. And then we will be back in an hour once I make sure that this timer is on 1 speed. It is. Look at me go. See you guys in an hour. Welcome back, friends. Let us know how you did during that sprint. How did you do? What did you accomplish? All of the things. Still not happy with. Why is it so bulky? I don't like it. Oh well. Anyway, I didn't really read during that sprint. I made dinner, ate my dinner, watched a YouTube video, ordered groceries for tomorrow. All of the things I needed to get done so I can read next sprint. And let's see. Sarah did tell us they were reading the Dungeon Anarchist's Cookbook, which I believe is a dungeon crawler Carl book, but I don't know what number. So somewhere in there. Jules joined us. Perfect time to spin the TBR wheel. Agreed. Perfect time. Pick a book. We're going to be doing another hour sprint here as soon as we're done with our little chit chat bit. Tennille DNF'd their book, watched some YouTube, had a coughing fit, then got a different book from Libby. What book did you pick up? Hello, Hillary. Reading A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. Excellent. We're doing things. We are kind of sort of just here as well. We've done one sprint. We'll do at least one more hour sprint, and maybe two. Depends on how I'm feeling after the next one, because I notoriously fall apart during live streams. It's fine. The Keeper of Night by Kylie Lee Baker. Again, one I have not heard of. I hope you enjoy it. I'm not very astute with books, apparently, lately. Hello, Light, you don't need to be on. That's so I can see. I don't need to see to talk to you. I don't need to see to talk to you. Sure, let's go with that. Sounds like a fun time. I can go ahead and get our next timer ready. And you can watch me struggle? Probably. Do I have a... No, I was going to see if I had a timer for TBR Takedown-athon, because I have one for Summer Scare Readathon. That's Summer Scare themed, but apparently I never themed one for TBR Takedown-athon. I'm a terrible human. I should fire myself. Hello, I said pause. Thank you. Okay, and that puts us ready for the next sprint. Once I do that. Okay. Read the Scarlet Alchemist duology and Bat Eater by Kylie Baker and finished all of them. So you already know you like the author and that you like their writing. So you're already one step ahead for or from the last book where you weren't enjoying the writing, which is always good. I am on page 95 of Enchantra, which if you were here for the struggle of me trying to get through Phantasma, it took me like 3 months and 2 months. It was a while. And it really was like, it wasn't that I wasn't liking it. I read a few chapters, set it down, excuse me, and then didn't pick it up for many months. And then picked it up and finished it in like a week or two. So I was like, I didn't dislike it, but I also didn't love it. But I theoretically thought that I would like the second book better because I was interested in learning more about that sister from the second book. And I don't know how I'm feeling about it currently. But I'd leave Enchanter for a long me too. But I'm also currently reading Faithbreaker. And I'm also struggling with it. And Faithbreaker is like, I have to focus to figure out what's going on. And so I can't really listen to that one while I'm doing other things. So I've been listening to Enchanter while I'm doing other stuff because I'm like, if I miss, them pining for each other for 20 seconds, it's not that big of a deal. Whereas with Faithbreaker, there's so much going on that if I blink out for 20 seconds, I'm not going to have any clue what's happening. There's a lot of stuff happening in Faithbreaker that I'm not necessarily vibing with at this moment in time. I'm going to text Brittany later and ask her about a thing that I think is happening that I don't care for. But yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling with both of them. I'm struggling with fantasy in general right now, and I really just want to read a silly, goofy, fun time kind of book, and I can't because I need to read these other books. Faithbreaker was my least favorite of the trilogy. I mean, I didn't like Sunbringer the first time I read it, and you've been here, Tennille specifically has been here. They know. But I read it twice and I plot twisted myself. I didn't know that things had happened because I had forgotten that I had read them. And so I'm wondering if once I know what happens in Faithbreaker, if I read it again, I would enjoy it more, much like I did with Sunbringer. But I don't feel like you shouldn't have to read a book twice to enjoy it. But it's fine. It's fine. I might continue a silly, goofy, fun book next, When the Moon Hits Your Eye by Scalzi. I love a fun, goofy time. Also, mystery thrillers and all of the things. I watched one of Gavin's recent videos, and I don't know if it's still members only right now or if it's public, and I don't remember what video it was, to be honest. I think it might have been the Traders video, round 2. He read My Husband's Wife by Alice Sweeney, and I immediately was like, I want to read that. Actually, there was another book that he read during that I want to read, but it's not out in the US yet. So I pre-ordered it. And then the other, what did I just say it was called that I already forgot? My Husband's Wife. Yeah. Yeah. And I've read Alice Sweeney before, and I do like her. And it was on my radar to work to read at some point this year, but I'm trying to read through my backlist TBR. And so I'm working on these things that have been sitting around for a while. Though to be fair, Enchantra hasn't sitting around for a while because I don't even own Enchantra. Why am I reading it? I don't know. If you think there is a theory or a method to the madness of my brain, you are incorrect. But anywho, yeah. But I had to put in a hold for My Husband's Wife. But I'm next in line. So as soon as that's available, yep, it shall be gone. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Both the books I'm reading right now are gonna finish a series for me. One that I own, one that I don't. I am enjoying Enchantra. I probably will buy a copy of the book, maybe. Maybe not, because I own Phantasma, but my Phantasma copy is Book of the Month. And if I buy Enchantra, I'm going to want them to match. And I don't like them enough to rebuy Phantasma, so probably not. If you see me rebuy Phantasma to get a matching copy of Enchantra, reach through the screen and smack. Unless I buy them secondhand, super cheap. All right? You watch me. Got enough books. I don't need to do more. Problems. It's also one of those things that, like, so when we travel, when I go and do things with the girlies, I like to buy books because I like to buy books. And I've seen a lot of people who like go on trips to like new cities or new countries or whatever, and they'll buy copies of books and then they'll hate the book and they'll like not want to unhaul it because they've have it attached to these memories. So I tend to buy a book that I have already liked, I've already read that I don't own a copy of when we do things like that. And I am going to New York next week. So if I finish Enchanter before and I enjoy it, and I don't find something else that I want at one of the bookstores we're going to, I could buy both books or one book, one or the other, while we're in New York. And then it would be like a memory thing, but also a book that I enjoy and that I know I like that I don't have to get rid of. Yeah, you see what I mean? This is me working around my rules and regulations to buy books. I have problems. It's fine. It's reading The Burning Stone and buddy reading Birth of a Dynasty. If you on the go for vibe changes. I normally am just like read a book. Like sometimes I'll have a physical book and an audiobook at the same time, or an ebook and a physical book, or what have you, but very rarely do I have multiple going at the same time. And I'm really stretching right now. Just reach through the screen at you unless you're in New York and we won't be able to reach you. Yes, that's it. Here's the problem with New York. I'm flying, which, as we've discussed in live streams before, I've never done before. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that. But also, I can only bring so much back. So it's not like when we went for Katie's book release last year in Pennsylvania and I bought like 15 books because I drove and I can bring however much crap I want home with me. I'm flying, so I can only bring so much back. I'm intentionally packing empty space because I already know I'm buying Kate's book. Like I already know I'm buying at least 2 copies of that because I'll buy one at each place we go to for her book signings. I technically already pre-ordered one and then I'll buy one at the other place. But like, what else am I gonna buy? And I have to get it home. So I have to leave empty space when I pack. I'm gonna be in trouble. Yeah. Also, weight. Um, I am I should be fine either way, but yeah, I do have to I'll probably I think I'm gonna I'll probably order one of the weight things that they use. They sell like on Amazon for like $10 and pack it and take it with me so that I can weigh on the way back. Who knows? Not me. Anyway, let's do another sprint. Because my nose itches. I have a nose gremlin. No, come back. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of videos of like first time flyer, things you should know, things that have changed recently, things like that. Because again, first time flyer. So, hooky dokie. We're going to sprinty sprint. And we'll be back in 1 hour. Hey, look at that, a timer that ended. Go us. I turned my headphones on. I turned my headphones on to listen to Faith Breaker on my book. Faith Breaker on my book. Faith Breaker on my phone. Faith Breaker the book on my phone. And when I did that, it connected to my phone and my computer. And when I hit play on the phone, it paused the video. That was the timer. And I was over there doing stuff, so I didn't notice. And I had to catch that. And then I came back and I had to open the video, see how long it had been, make an educated guess, etc., etc. So that's what happened. That's what you missed on Glee. Let me know what you did during that spread. I am now at 40% of Faith Breaker, so I listened to 12%. I still have 4.5 hours at 2.3 times speed of the audiobook left. I am frazzled, but we're getting through it, and that's the main thing. Jen joined us and is reading a manga. We love a manga. Blah, 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 blah. That was me. We spread forever. The wheel picked the entity 5 centuries of secret Vatican espionage. May not make it through the book, but I feel like this will spark lots of plot ideas. Yeah, that's definitely a I don't know that book specifically, but those types of books are definitely ones that I just read bits and pieces of when I want plot ideas, or when I'm trying to if I'm making up a society or a religion or something like that, then I will study societies and religions of the past in order to make one that makes sense of things that people would actually do. And those are the kind of books I like. If you've never watched the TV show, oh my God, what is the show called? Wow. It has walked completely out of my brain. I watched it last year, 3 times. What's it called? There's it's a priest and a lady who's a therapist. He used to be Catholic, but is no longer Catholic. And a scientist guy. And I'm looking through my planner from last year to see what I wrote down. They're trying to debunk things. Oh my gosh. What is the name of it? When I tell you the name of it, you're gonna be like, that's the dumbest name ever. Evil. That's the name of the show. Oh, Evil. Yeah, I've watched it 3 times, twice last year. But yeah, it's a guy who's he's going through schooling to become a priest, and a lady with 4 daughters who used to be a Catholic but is lapsed and is a therapist and a scientist, and the 3 of them are sent on missions from the Catholic Church to debunk things like possessions, whether it's of people or houses, and basically like it's a crazy TV show. I think there was 4 seasons, maybe. And the reason why my brain sparked is because they include the entity as part of the show, and it was a wild time. You definitely have to be okay with like creepy CGI monsters because the sleep paralysis demon gave me nightmares. Anyway, if you've never watched Fear, highly recommend. Evil, not Fear. I keep thinking the name is Fear, and I know it's not Fear. It's Evil. I'm feared. I'm also evil. Anyway, almost finished Witch Hat Atelier. Atelier. I know that that's a French word, and I know that I should be able to say it, but my voice, my vocal box does not want to say it. Volume 9. Hillary made it to 45%. Tennille listen to some of When the Moon Hits Your Eye Like a Big Pizza Pie. Brittany. Hello, Brittany. Need to finish Stranger Skies before bed. And Brittany is ruining my feelings. You know, I told you guys I was getting a vibe from this book, and I didn't want the vibe to be the thing that was going to happen. And so I had to message Brittany and be like, please tell me this thing is not happening. And she was like, I can't tell you that. So now my life is ruined and I'm going to throw up in my mouth a little bit. Anywho, we are going to do one more sprint because I am enjoying the book and I do need to continue folding laundry. But at this moment in time, I'm coloring a coloring page on my tablet because that's how I live my life. What is that? I don't want to know. I don't need that. Go away. But because it's 8:30, I think we'll just do a half-hour sprint. Because I do need to go to bed. You did confirm the vibe, and I'm not okay with it. Ugh. It's not what I wanted. Okay. I was already not vibing with this book, and now I'm vibing even less. Thanks. You just said if I want to reread some of Witch Hat before reading the new volume. I wonder if there are recaps. Probably somewhere. I bet they do exist. I'm already yawning. Okay, we're going to do a 30. We'll come back and check in. Hopefully, I will have done something by then. But I make no promises. Okay. Hit this button. See you guys in 30. Maybe the timer won't stop this time. And that's it, kids. That is the end of the final jam. So Lisa got here right for the end of the final jam for 7 minutes. You know, it is what it is. I needed that half hour because I was like, when we ended the last part, I was like dead in the middle of a chapter that was like a big battle scene where everyone was legit dying. And that half hour got me to the end of that scene and then on to the next scene. So that was good. I'm at 53%. No, I have 53% left. I'm at 47%. And I'm much more into it now than I was before we started sprints tonight. So that's good because the girl needed to be interested. Also, I know it says I'm reading the Enchantra, but I am reading Faithbreaker. I was supposed to read Enchantra and I did not. So that's on me. It's fine. It's totally fine. Spent a good portion of that sprint picking out a bookmark. Found one. I actually the other day went through my bookmark stash and I don't even know where this one came from, but I found a dragon. And so I have left it out to use because he's pretty. Message with a friend, figure out some sewing things. It was a great 7 minutes. Got to see the face of John. Face of John. Do I have the UK versions? These are the Illumicrate special editions, if I remember correctly. Does it tell me on here somewhere? Why would it do? Aha! Illumicrate exclusive in the back flap. Yes, these are the Illumicrate editions. I have the Illumicrate editions of all 3 of these. So they're the same cover, they're just different colored and shiny. They also have like pretty covers on the books themselves. Anywho, it is a pretty bookmark. I have like a giant, I have a large collection of bookmarks. And I went through it the other day and I got rid of a bunch of like, I had like 12 from Book of the Month. And like, who cares about Book of the Month bookmarks? I got rid of those. And I have a bunch from my local indie because every time you buy a book, you get a bookmark. And some of those were like really roughed up. So I got rid of the ones that were a little worse for wear. When Amazon was less awful many years ago. I honestly, I must have bought it at the same time as I bought this one that says Eat, Sleep, Read because they have like the same thing on the back of them. My best guess is probably from a Barnes and Noble. But again, that's just a guess. So I think right now I'm using, I think these are last year's Readathon bookmarks. They are. Last year's Readathon bookmarks is what I have in here currently. I have a little bit of everything everywhere. I think there were hardcover editions from Barnes and Noble. The Barnes and Noble exclusives were hardcover. I don't think they would have been released as paperback in the US because the US is weird and we don't release books in paperback unless it's a romance, adult romance, or like second or third printings of something that's getting like a mass market paperback. Most things that we publish are hardcover. They do more hardcover than paperback in the US. It's a weird time. Will not reread. Listen, I have a problem. And my problem is that even if I'm not going to reread it, I like the trophy. And so I have multiple hobbies. I both read books and collect books. Do I have too many books? Yes, I do. I do get rid of things that like I don't like. If I didn't genuinely like it, I'll get rid of it. But if I liked it, whether I'll reread it again or not, I usually keep it forever because I have problems. I ended up picking one from last year's Amazing Readathon. Used the octopus to go with my One Piece reading. That actually makes sense. Yes, versions and all we had available. We don't get Barnes and exclusives. That is because you don't have a Barnes and Noble. My last year's Realmathon and Fablin and Amazing Readathon. Got some TBR-athon and TBR Harvest ones. These are the ones that I keep out that I use most often. Like the more papery ones I have stocked in a container on the bookshelf. So I have a lot of them. A lot of my Pretty Readathon bookmarks are MIA somehow. You've put them somewhere special so you wouldn't forget where they were or lose them. And then you forgot where they were and lost them. Because that happens to me all the time. It's okay. Yes, I probably, like, the next time I redo my shelves, I need to, like, check all of my books for bookmarks because I am notorious for getting this far in a book and then finishing it on audiobook and leaving the bookmark in it and then never taking it out. So, yes. Yeah, I do prefer the non-tassel-y ones. I think my dragon bookmark I'm probably actually going to use in my reading planner as an extra bookmark location. Probably. Who knows? I just wanted to leave it out so that I didn't forget that I had it again because I definitely forgot that I had it. Anywho, I need to be getting ready for bed because I need to sleep. And we've been here for 3 hours. Look at us go. We did all the things. If I remember what day of the week it is, we should be back on Sunday at 1 o'clock, I think is the correct time, to do sprints again. I do plan to do some sprints again somewhere between now and the end of the month after Sunday, but it's just going to depend on how things go in New York. Brittany, not Brittany Loves Reading Brittany, but other Brittany, my brain blanked. Oh my gosh. Man, I need to go home, man. I turned my brain off. I'm gonna go lay down and take a nap. Brittany, Rescues and Reads Brittany. That's the one. Yeah, look at you go, Neil. You got me. I was like scrolling through my thing, like one of these words is gonna hit a memory. She'll be sprinting Saturday, theoretically. And then I'll be Sunday at 1. Again, this is all in theory. And some of you I will see around between now and then, and some of you I will see then, and some of you I will see never again. Who knows? Anywho, I'm gonna hit the button, and I will see you guys whenever.